when I reached down to pick up the bucket to leave, I was bitten in the hand by a rattlesnake. So I just went and got another rattlesnake from a yard where it bit a dog. So I don't have any video of heading out there or the capture. Again, just because these are super sensitive situations. You don't know how the dog is doing. You don't know how the homeowner is doing. It can be a really scary thing. So I'm gonna choose not to film those when it happens. But I have the snake now. Thankfully, it was real easy because the homeowner saw where the bite occurred and it was under a bush. And I was able to find the snake very quickly, search the yard, no other snakes. It's a young snake, maybe a yearling. So most likely just a random event. And I am headed out now to let the snake go. Something that's kind of refreshing to see just of people in general is when I meet people who have had something bad happen with rattlesnakes, like their dog being bitten, and they still want to make sure the snake is released unharmed. They don't have to like snakes, obviously. They're probably not going to after that, but that is a mature, well-rounded person that has that thought, that can forego the initial feelings we might have of revenge or whatever, and just realize the situation. We moved here to the desert. There are animals out here. We moved to these wonderful houses that are out near the desert just so we can be near it and experience it. Sometimes things are going to happen, and to see people react to that responsibly is very refreshing. All right, there's our little guy. The dog biter. It's actually a really pretty little Western Diamondback. Very pretty. Lots of attitude on him. You gonna ride a hook? You gonna not be cool? Or are you gonna be cool? You're not gonna be cool. Okay, we'll just let you crawl out. That's fine. He knows what to do, he says. I know what to do. We'll need your help. Nice little kind of tan color to him too. Oh, that's my shoe. Stay away from there.
Hey everyone, headed to my first call of the day. It's Saturday and it's officially fall. Yesterday was the first full day of fall and it feels crisp outside. Nice crisp morning. It's still like 80 degrees, but you know how you feel that crisp, nice like fresh air feel? That's what it feels like. And the snakes are really enjoying it because we've been pretty slammed lately. But this is the first one today, and it's a baby rattlesnake in the backyard. So let's go. Hi, how you doing?
I got 2 dogs. So
okay, yeah, I figured they let you know I was here, but it's a baby, huh?
Yeah, maybe like 2 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the pool area.
Okay. First one?
Second. When we first moved in like 3 years ago, my wife saw one down there by the garbage cans.
Oh yeah.
It's right over there. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just like out here work out this morning, and I was like walking around.
Yeah.
And I stepped to go that way, and I was like, oh shit. He was like laying this way. He didn't even move.
Yeah, he's just hanging out, enjoying the nice weather. He's like seriously just enjoying the sun.
He hasn't moved in like 2 hours.
Yeah. There he goes. Alright. This Western Diamondback, he's just chilling by the pool, soaking up the morning sun. I just need you to get in there so I know you're safe. See you, bud. All right, well, easy enough. One down. We'll see how many we get today. I think it's gonna be busy. I feel it. I feel like it's gonna be really, really busy because it is a beautiful day out, which means it's a beautiful day to catch snakes.
A question I get asked daily, usually several times, is if I have ever been bitten by a rattlesnake. I usually don't really talk about it just because it's not relevant or has too much backstory at the time. But I think I want to tell you about what happened when I was bitten by a rattlesnake and the mistake that I made that led to that event. So I was out here in Rio Verde, one of the communities around Phoenix. Lots of new homes here, lots of animals. It was late in the season. It was November of last year, of 2021, and I did something that I shouldn't have done. That was my mistake, is I was very tired. Had a long day at work, was laying in bed, about to go to sleep, and a call came in to go get a rattlesnake out of a backyard out here about an hour's drive from my house. One of the big rules that we have, and that I keep personally for safely working with rattlesnakes, is if you don't feel like doing something, if you're not mentally there, you shouldn't be working with rattlesnakes. But I did it anyway. Got up, put my boots on, headed to Rio Verde, caught the snake in the backyard. Easy, little diamondback hanging out back there, no real problem, easy to get in the bucket. That's not the mistake. So considering that it was mid-November and rattlesnakes are denning at that point, releasing them can take some work, especially in the middle of the night when it's cold out. So I was pretty tired at that point. It was now real late at night. And what I should have done is recognize that, okay, I shouldn't have gone out here to catch the snake, but I did. But now I'm just gonna take it home and release it another time when I feel a little better. Maybe I can even do some map work to determine where a den is. But I was already out here and I decided to go ahead and pull over, look at a map and find what I think could be a rattlesnake den to release it right down there. And that's what I did. Pulled up a map, found some isolated rock piles that looked like they would be a good, suitable place to put a rattlesnake in the winter. And I drove out to that location. It's actually where I'm headed right now, so I can show you. So we came out to this rock. It's isolated, it wouldn't be great otherwise, but it has a horizontal crevice that goes up in there and lots of animal tracks. I thought, well, that could be a rattlesnake den, that could be something that they could use. So I put the bucket down right here. It fell on its side, took the snake out and released it, and I'm done, right? But when I reached down to pick up the bucket to leave, I was bitten in the hand by a rattlesnake that was sitting right there that I didn't see. So if I weren't so tired at that point, I would have done what we usually do, is just maintain awareness. And I probably would have seen that snake. It wasn't hiding very well. It was just there. But now I'm out here, I have no cell phone signal. And I look at my hand and I had one fang mark that was bleeding and a little drag mark. And it was bleeding pretty good. I thought, oh shit, it's happened, here we go. So what I was going to do, and what I did, is get in my car and start driving back towards Scottsdale until I have 2 bars of reception. The reason I wouldn't do it when you have 1 bar is, you know, what happens, I would call 911 and it would just be frustration of trying to stay on the line. But I was gonna go out, I knew exactly where I'd go, 10 minutes or so, and I would have enough reception to where I could call 911 and get into this process of getting to the hospital and, you know, ultimately likely being okay. But what happened is when I got out there and I had good cell phone reception, my bite was still bleeding, but there were no other effects. There was no pain, no systemic effects. I was feeling just fine. And I did something that I would not recommend you do, or recommend really anybody do. This certainly goes against things that I would say in any kind of safety training that we do, is that I did not call 911. I waited to see what happened. That could be a big mistake, right? There's definitely, that's not something I would advise people to do. But at this point I know, okay, at any point, if something starts to happen, if a symptom starts to develop, I can just pull over and call 911. It's all good. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue driving towards Scottsdale, towards the hospital, and monitor the situation. The moment I felt any kind of pain or something that indicates that I have been envenomated, I would pull over, call 911, and wait for help. So I have to reiterate, nobody should do what I just did, what I described, where you waited to see what happens. The only person that should tell you that you've been bitten by a rattlesnake and it's a dry bite is the doctor at the ER. But I can also say that I am probably a lot more experienced and have thought this through a lot more so than the average person, and I do not believe that my actions here put me in any more danger. I was monitoring it carefully and was ready to say, you know, definitely wasn't going to go try to write it out or anything like that. I was just paying attention to what was happening, so I think it was okay. If you work with venomous snakes in any capacity, the situation of being bitten by them and what to do in that event goes through your head constantly, and it should go through your head constantly. It's not to remain fearful, it's just to remain aware and ready. And that awareness is what will keep you safe. If I'm going into a situation, going into a road somewhere, going into a place with no reception, or just working in my room with the rattlesnakes, there is a plan there of what to do, and that plan has to be plastic. So while I can no longer say, as of November of 2021, that I've never been bitten by a rattlesnake, I can say I've never been envenomated by one. And I can also say that my commitment towards following my own rules, being aware, and making sure that that would not happen again is re-upped. It's back where it should be. I made a mistake. There will be mistakes that will happen. That's usually where bites like this do occur. And I learned a lot from it. So I'm hoping that's my last one. I can say that I'm operating with a little bit more awareness now. And every time that I drive through this area in Rio Verde, I'll think about it. Every time, you know. It was not a near-death experience, but the thought goes through your head. For sure. I just thought I would explain that. It's a question I get asked a lot. And the reason I don't just answer it very quickly most of the time is because it's not a short answer. So I recorded this about a month ago, and just to be clear, it ended up being a dry bite, meaning that there was no venom involved. I did have some scratches on my hand. Maybe the snake had to bite through some grass or something to get to me, but for one reason or another, I was bitten and there was no venom. So I'm very thankful for that. It doesn't mean that I didn't get away unscathed. I made a huge mistake. That was my first rattlesnake bite, hopefully my last. I'm just glad everything turned out okay. But there you have it. That is my rattlesnake bite story, and hopefully that is the last one of these that I ever tell.